In the previous verses, Krishna, the master, explained how intelligent actions frees the mind from the bondage. In today's verses 52 and 53, he now points to what naturally follows. Not achievement, not certainty, but clarity. Krishna explains why confusion persists and what actually allows it to dissolve. Let us look at these verses carefully. Before we proceed, let us begin with the invocation prayer. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanoramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Sahana Vavato Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yada te moha kalilam buddhirvyatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhihi tada yogamavapsyasi. Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthita deh kim prabhasheta kimaseta vrajeta kim. Shri Bhagavanu vacha prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadocyate. Dukkheshvanudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspruhaha vitaragabhayakrodhaha sthitadirmunirichyate. Yas sarvatra nabhisnehaha tattaprapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashaha indriyanindriyarthebhyaha tasya prajna pratisthita. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param društva nivartate. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramadhini haranti prasabham manaha. Krishna, the teacher, describes the mind as moving through a fog of confusion. The confusion does not come from lack of information. It comes from being pulled in many directions by opinions, by different teachings, promises, and expectations. So Krishna says clarity arises when the mind crosses beyond this pulling. Confusion does not end by collecting more ideas. It ends when the mind learns what not to chase. As attachment to mental noise reduces, clarity becomes steady. And in that steadiness, it becomes clear what needs to be done and what needs to be allowed. So that's how wisdom is revealed. Consider a common situation. A person has to make a decision about maybe work, maybe about joining a college, maybe about taking a responsibility or being in a relationship. The mind starts moving rapidly, asking others for opinions, imagining outcomes, replaying the possibilities, and so on and so forth. The more the mind collects the information and jumps from input to input, the more confused it feels. Krishna points out that clarity does not come from chasing every option. When the mind pauses and settles, what is appropriate becomes obvious. Confusion ends not by adding more inputs, but by stopping unnecessary movement of the mind and its thoughts. Practical application. From confusion to steadiness. Krishna's guidance here is practical. Notice where the mind keeps jumping between advice, between methods and expectations, and so on and so forth. Recognize that more input does not always bring more quality. When unsure, pause instead of reacting. Let urgency settle before making a decision. Choosing steadiness over stimulation. A calm mind sees clearly, an agitated mind projects. So, as we close, in these verses, Krishna makes a quiet point. Clarity is not something to be forced. It appears when unnecessary movement of the mind ends. He says in the 53, Nischala buddhihi. Shruti vipratipanna yada stasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhihi tada yogam avapsyasi. So wisdom is not created or acquired. It is revealed when the distractions reduce. So we'll continue with the next verses in the following session. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam Na Pramaditavyam. Om Tat Sat.